Hello, my name is Yuang Zhao, and the thesis I am covering today is climate change and how we need to act now to rectify this crisis. First, let's go over a brief description of what climate change is. Climate change is defined by the shifts in Earth's temperature over time. Such changes can be due to the normal contribution of greenhouse gases emitted by the solar system's natural processes. However, it can also be the result of unnatural contributions made by humans, who as a species has been producing greenhouse gases uncontrolled since the 1800s, resulting in a sizable jump in Earth's temperature in recent years. There are primarily two approaches towards combating climate change: limiting the amount we output and actively reducing the amount of greenhouse gases in our atmosphere, and both require us to start now. The most basic way of fighting climate change is to reduce the amount of greenhouse gases being output into the atmosphere. This will still cause the global temperature to rise, however, it is a practice that will slow down the steady climb in temperature before we can find a reliable and mature technology to reverse the damage. One such example of reducing the amount of greenhouse gas output is the switch towards green energy, such as solar, wind, and hydropower. In 2022, the US has transitioned to having 13% of its total power production being from green energy and 8% being from nuclear energy, for a total of 21% from non-emission energy sources, meaning that these methods of energy production do not emit harmful byproducts produced by the traditional power sources, which includes greenhouse gases such as carbon dioxide. This percentage does not look significant taken out of context, but when taken into account that the total energy consumption of the US in 2022 was 4.7 trillion kilowatt hours, 21% is a lot, and the impact on the atmosphere reduced by renewable energy becomes more apparent. For this method of fighting climate change to work, we need to act now to implement these changes to our society in order to decrease the amount of greenhouse gases emitted as much as possible. Active greenhouse gas removal systems are a newer and more proactive way of reducing the damages to climate change. One such method is direct air capture, or DAC technology. This is a cutting-edge technology that has only been realized in recent years. Its advantage over traditional carbon capture projects is that it can be deployed anywhere, instead of only being able to be deployed at the source of the output, such as at a steel mill. After deployment, the DAC technology actively removes the CO2 from the surrounding air and can store the captured carbon permanently in deep geological formations far beneath the ground, or alternatively, can repurpose that carbon for industrial uses such as making synthetic fuels for more energy or other general usages. Currently, there are still problems regarding this technology that needs to be ironed out before it can be put into service on a mass scale, with the biggest one being the cost from the resources and technology used to produce DAC technology, as well as the higher power usage due to the fact that CO2 is more dilute in the atmosphere than it is at the source of output. DAC technology needs more energy and time to capture the same amount of CO2 as traditional carbon capture technology. The hope is, with advancements in DAC, as well as other sectors such as synthetic fuels, we can reduce the cost by both having a lower base price for commissioning DAC facilities and by offsetting it with the CO2 usage after capture. The reason we need this approach of combating climate change is because we need to start reversing the damages before it's too late, and this is the only method that will slow or reverse the effect of climate change. It is also a way for us to innovate and come up with new technologies that can improve our lives elsewhere and propel us as a species into a better tomorrow. Regardless of the approach taken to combat climate change, there are benefits that we do not even realize are there. Some of the biggest benefits include new jobs from the research and development of both passive and active methods of fighting climate change, national energy security and stability, and human and animal life expectancy increases. With that being said, perhaps the most important one is national energy security and stability. As we've seen in recent years, geopolitical conflicts around the world have made energy prices skyrocket globally overnight, causing expenses of everyday living to become almost too much to bear for some families. With the implementation of more green energy sources, these unforeseeable impacts may not have as volatile of an impact on a nation's economy. Another big benefit from switching to renewable energy and reducing and collecting greenhouse gases is the impact on the health of the human and animal population. A great example of this is the implementation and success of China's 2013 Air Pollution Prevention and Control Action Plan, which resulted in the shutdown of multiple coal mines and other non-renewable energy projects. Since then, air quality has slowly become better and mortalities relating to PM 2.5 exposure has drastically decreased. The reason I bring up these benefits is to show that these are all good things for us, the general public, and would help resolve other areas of concern in the world today. So the faster we act, the more benefits we gain, and potentially the more lives we save. The reason I chose this topic is because this crisis is one of the biggest challenges to us all. It is a problem that everyone around the world needs to help fix, and if we were to fail, the effects would be catastrophic for us all. Another reason is because I am a civil engineer with goals to potentially become an environmental engineer, which means issues like this would be my main focus for the rest of my life. So I would like to start as early as possible in learning about this topic and contributing what I can to the fight.